Ava Sinclair first heard about the lake from a late-night video someone posted online. The clip was short and strange. A girl stood near the dark water smiling softly, as if someone was calling her name from the middle of the lake. The caption said only one thing: "No girl who hears the lake ever ignores it." Most people in the comments laughed it off, calling it fake. But Ava didn't laugh. Something about the water in that video felt wrong, almost alive. 2 days later, Ava and her best friend Chloe Bennett were driving along a quiet forest road just outside their town. They had been filming content for their small travel channel, looking for unusual places to explore. When the narrow road curved through the trees, Ava suddenly saw it. The lake. It appeared between the trees like a sheet of black glass. The water was perfectly still, reflecting the gray sky above it. There were no birds, no ripples, no sound at all. Chloe slowed the car. "Why does it feel so quiet here?" she asked. Ava didn't answer. Her eyes were fixed on the lake. For a moment she thought she heard something. A soft voice, not loud, not clear, just a whisper floating across the water. "Ava?" She blinked and looked around. "Did you hear that?" Ava asked. "Hear what?" Chloe replied. Ava stepped out of the car before Chloe could stop her. The air near the lake felt colder than the forest behind them. A narrow wooden dock stretched a few feet into the water, old and cracked with age. As Ava walked closer, the whisper returned. "Ava." This time it sounded closer. Her heart began to race, but she wasn't scared. If anything, the voice felt strangely comforting, like someone she had known for a long time. Chloe grabbed her arm. "I don't like this place," she said. "Let's go." Before Ava could respond, a voice came from behind them. "You girls shouldn't stand that close to the water." They turned and saw a young man leaning against a rusted truck near the trees. His expression was serious, almost worried. "My name's Ryan Walker," he said slowly, "and if you want to stay alive, you should leave this lake right now." Ava looked back at the dark water. For a second, she thought she saw a girl's reflection beneath the surface, smiling up at her. Chloe immediately stepped back from the dock, but Ava didn't move. Her eyes remained locked on the water, searching for the reflection she thought she had seen. Ryan Walker walked closer, his boots crunching softly on the gravel path. "I mean it," he said. "You shouldn't stay here." Chloe crossed her arms. "Why? It's just a lake." Ryan shook his head slowly. "That's what everyone says the first time." A cold wind moved across the surface of the water, creating the first ripple Ava had seen since arriving. The reflection vanished instantly. "What's wrong with it?" Ava asked. Ryan looked at her carefully, almost as if he was studying her reaction. "Let me guess," he said. "You heard something." Ava hesitated. "Maybe." Ryan sighed. "It always starts like that." Chloe frowned. "Starts what?" Ryan glanced toward the forest, making sure no one else was around. "Girls disappear here," he said quietly. Chloe rolled her eyes. "You're joking." "I wish I was." He pointed toward the middle of the lake. 10 years ago, a girl named Clara Whitmore came here with friends. Same situation as you two. They were exploring, taking pictures, laughing. Everything was normal. Ava felt the strange whisper return in the back of her mind. Ryan continued. "Clara told them she could hear someone calling her name from the water. Her friends thought she was messing around." Ryan's voice grew quieter, but she kept walking closer to the lake, slowly, like she was following someone they couldn't see. Chloe shifted uncomfortably. "What happened to her?" Ryan looked directly at Ava. "She walked onto that dock," he said, "and stepped into the water." Ava felt a chill run through her body. "She drowned?" Chloe asked. Ryan shook his head. "That's the strange part." They searched the entire lake. Her body was never found. The forest suddenly felt darker. Ava turned toward the water again. The lake looked calm, peaceful, almost inviting. Then, the whisper returned, closer than before. Ava! Her breath caught in her throat. Ryan noticed the change in her expression. You hear it again, don't you? Ava slowly nodded. Ryan's face tightened. Then we need to leave. But Ava couldn't move. Because this time, the whisper didn't just call her name. It said something else. Come find me. Ava stepped closer to the dock before either Ryan or Chloe could react. Ava, stop! Chloe said quickly, grabbing her sleeve, but Ava gently pulled away. I just want to see something, she murmured. Ryan moved in front of her. You don't understand what that lake does, he said firmly. But Ava barely seemed to hear him. The whisper had changed again. Now it sounded clearer, almost like a girl speaking directly beside her ear. You're almost here. Ava walked onto the dock. The wood creaked beneath her feet. Each step echoed across the silent water. Chloe's voice trembled behind her. Ava, please come back. Ryan looked toward the lake with growing fear. It's happening again, he muttered. Halfway down the dock, Ava stopped. The water beneath her began to ripple slowly, forming circles that spread outward in perfect patterns. Then something appeared beneath the surface. A pale shape. A face. A girl was staring up from the dark water. Her long hair floated around her like shadows. Her eyes were open, unblinking, locked directly onto Ava. It was Clara Whitmore. Ava's heart pounded. You've been waiting for me, she whispered. The girl in the water smiled. Not a normal smile. Something colder, emptier. Then Clara raised a hand slowly, pressing her pale palm against the underside of the water's surface as if it were glass. And she whispered, Join me. Suddenly the lake exploded with movement. Dozens of shapes appeared beneath the water, more faces, more girls. Some looked young and some older, but all of them stared upward with the same empty expression. Chloe gasped in horror. Oh my God! Ryan grabbed Ava's arm and pulled her backward. Run! But before Ava could move, something cold wrapped around her ankle. A hand. From the water, the surface of the lake stretched upward like liquid fingers, pulling her foot downward. Ava screamed as the dock cracked beneath her. The whispering voices grew louder. Not one voice, hundreds. All of us were called, and now, it's your turn. Ryan lunged forward and grabbed Ava's arm just as the dock began to splinter. The cold grip around her ankle tightened, pulling her toward the water with terrifying strength. Ava, hold on! Ryan shouted. Chloe rushed forward to help, grabbing Ava's other arm. The lake suddenly looked alive. Hands pushed against the surface from below, stretching the water like thin glass. Pale fingers clawed upward, trying to reach her. Ava screamed as she felt herself sliding closer to the edge. The voices were everywhere now, soft, whispering, desperate. Stay with us. You heard the call? You belong here. Ryan planted his feet and pulled with everything he had. For a moment, the struggle froze in place. Then the dock collapsed. Wood snapped beneath them as Ava's body plunged halfway into the freezing lake. The cold was unbearable, like thousands of needles stabbing her skin. And beneath the surface, the girls were waiting. Dozens of pale faces drifted closer in the dark water. Clara Whitmore was the closest. Her empty eyes locked onto Ava's. You came, she whispered. Ava felt hands wrapping around her legs, pulling her deeper. But Ryan refused to let go. With a final desperate shout, he dragged her backward as Chloe pulled with all her strength. Suddenly, the grip vanished. The water snapped back violently, sending waves crashing against the broken dock. Ryan and Chloe dragged Ava onto the shore, all three of them gasping for breath. For a long moment, no one spoke. The lake returned to complete stillness. No ripples, no faces, nothing. Just black water. Chloe finally whispered, "What was that?" Ryan stared at the lake with a haunted expression. "That's why people disappear here," he said quietly. Ava slowly looked back toward the water. Something floated near the surface for a brief second. A pale hand. Then it slowly sank into the darkness again. Ryan stood up quickly. "We're leaving. Now." They ran to the car without looking back. But as Ava shut the door and glanced one last time toward the trees, she felt the whisper brush against her mind again. Soft, patient, waiting. "Ava." And deep beneath the silent lake, the girls were still watching, because the lake never stops calling, and one day, someone always answers.